Picture a monastery hidden in the Syrian mountains. The year is 381. A scribe sits alone by candlelight, copying the final pages of a manuscript that was never supposed to survive. His hand trembles because he knows what he is preserving. Instructions so dangerous that bishops across 3 continents have ordered them destroyed. A technique that Jesus taught to only 12 people. A method for seeing what the Archons do not want you to see. The scribe finishes the last line, seals the pages in waxed linen, and hides them inside a hollow column where they will remain untouched for 16 centuries. The instructions contained 3 warnings. The first, never perform this technique in daylight. The second, never speak about what you see until you have seen it 3 times. The third, once you learn to see them, they will know that you can see them. Tonight, you are going to receive those instructions. And if you are watching this after sunset, if something pulled you to this video as darkness fell, that pull was not random. It was the recognition between your divine spark and a teaching that has been waiting specifically for you. Right now, comment the words, "I see through the veil." This is your acknowledgement that you are ready to perceive what has been hidden from your eyes since birth. What the Gnostics called the Archons, the rulers, the parasitic intelligences that have controlled humanity by remaining invisible. Before we go further, subscribe to this channel right now and activate notifications, because what you are about to learn is only the beginning. The techniques that follow in upcoming videos will take you deeper than any teaching currently available. If you are serious about breaking free from the control system, that subscription is your commitment. Make it now. Take a deep breath. Feel your heartbeat. That rhythm is yours. But there is another rhythm in this world, a frequency that does not belong to you, that was never designed to serve you. Oh, the Archons exist at that frequency. They are not demons from mythology. They are not metaphors for human evil. They are actual entities, non-physical intelligences that the Gnostic texts describe with disturbing precision. And tonight, you are going to learn how to see them. Let me take you back to the source. The Nag Hammadi library, discovered in Egypt in 1945, contained texts that the Church had supposedly erased from history. Among them was the hypostasis of the Archons, the reality of the rulers. This text does not speak symbolically. It describes the Archons as beings with specific forms, specific functions, specific weaknesses. They are called rulers not because they have legitimate authority, but because they rule through deception. Their primary tool is invisibility. As long as you cannot see them, you cannot resist them. You will obey their impulses and call them your own thoughts. You will follow their patterns and believe them to be your own choices. But Jesus knew something the Archons feared. He knew that the human eye, when activated properly, when aligned with the divine spark within, could perceive beyond the material spectrum. He taught this to the chosen ones in private, not because he wanted to withhold knowledge, but because this knowledge is dangerous to those unprepared. Seeing the Archons before you understand your own power can break your mind. But you are ready. You would not be here if you were not. Here is what you must understand about mirrors. In every ancient tradition, mirrors were treated as thresholds. The Egyptians buried mirrors with their dead. The Romans covered mirrors during funerals. Jewish tradition dictates covering mirrors during mourning. Why? Because mirrors do not just reflect light, they reflect frequencies. and at certain times, under certain conditions, they reflect the archonic realm directly into your perception. The technique Jesus taught uses this principle deliberately. It forces the Archons into visibility by creating a frequency trap, a situation where their presence becomes undeniable to anyone carrying the pneumatic spark. Place your hand over your heart right now. Feel it beating. That beat is proof of life. What I am about to share is proof of something else, something that lives alongside you, feeding on you, steering you, and celebrating every moment you remain unaware of its presence. The instructions have 7 steps. Miss one step and the technique fails. Worse than fails. It opens doors without giving you the tools to close them. So listen with complete attention. Step 1. The preparation. This technique must be performed between the hours of 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. Not because of superstition, but because of frequency. During these hours, the veil between material and archonic realms thins naturally. The world goes quiet. The electromagnetic noise decreases, and the signal that usually drowns out archonic presence fades enough to allow perception. Choose a mirror in your home. Not a small mirror. You need something large enough to reflect your full face and shoulders. Bathroom mirrors work well. Ensure you can be alone, completely alone, with no possibility of interruption. Lock the door, silence your phone. This is non-negotiable. Step 2. The environment. The room must be dark except for a single light source. The Gnostic texts specify firelight, candlelight, something that flickers. Modern practitioners have found that a single candle placed behind you works perfectly. Do not place the candle where you can see the flame in the mirror. Place it behind you so that your face is dimly illuminated, but the mirror itself remains mostly dark. The flicker is essential. Archons exist at a frequency that constant electric light obscures. Flickering light creates gaps, moments where their frequency becomes visible. Step 3. The posture. Stand before the mirror. Not sitting. Standing. Your spine must be straight. Your feet shoulder-width apart. Place your hands at your sides, relaxed. This posture signals to your energetic system that you are grounded, that you are not attempting to leave your body but rather to expand your perception while remaining fully present. This distinction is critical. Astral projection makes you vulnerable. Expanded perception while grounded makes you powerful. Step 4. The breath sequence. This is where the technique becomes active. You are going to breathe in a pattern that the chosen ones called the serpent breath. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 7. Exhale through your mouth for a count of 8. This is not random. The 4-7-8 pattern shifts your brainwave state rapidly, moving you from beta to alpha to theta within minutes. In theta, the veil becomes transparent. Repeat this breath cycle 7 times, no more, no less. Count carefully. By the 7th exhale, you will feel a shift, a subtle change in the air, a sense that something in the room has noticed you noticing. Step 5. The declaration. After the 7th breath, you speak directly to your reflection, not to yourself, to the divine spark that animates your body. 4 words spoken aloud, spoken with absolute conviction. I see what is real. These words are not a request. They are a command issued by the pneumatic essence within you to the perceptual filters that have kept you blind. The Archons have conditioned humanity to see only matter. This declaration breaks that conditioning. It tells your entire system that you are ready to perceive the frequencies you have been trained to ignore. Step 6. The gaze. Now you stare at your reflection, not at your eyes, at the space between your eyes, the point just above the bridge of your nose. In esoteric traditions, this is called the third eye point, but the Gnostics had a different name for it. They called it the aperture, the place where inner vision and outer vision meet. As you stare at this point, do not blink. Allow your eyes to water if they must, but do not blink. Within 60 to 90 seconds, your face will begin to distort in the mirror. This is normal. This is expected. Your rational mind will try to explain it as an optical illusion, as pareidolia, as tricks of shadow and light. Ignore that voice. Keep staring. Step 7. The observation. What happens next separates those who carry the spark from those who do not. If you are hyletic, if you are purely material, nothing will appear. The mirror will distort and then resettle, and you will see only yourself. But if you are pneumatic, if you carry the divine spark, something else will appear. Not behind you, not beside you, layered over you. You will see a shadow form that does not match your movements. You will see eyes that are not your eyes looking back at you. You will see the Archon that has been assigned to you, the entity that whispers thoughts you believe are yours, that nudges you toward choices that drain your energy, that celebrates every moment you forget what you truly are. The first time you see it, your body will react with instinctive fear. Your heart will race. Your breath will catch. Every survival instinct will scream at you to look away. Do not look away. This is the test. The Archons have controlled you through invisibility, but their secondary weapon is fear. They want you to believe they are more powerful than you. They are not. You are a spark of the monad, a fragment of the infinite source. They are parasites, entities that exist only by feeding on energy they cannot generate themselves. The moment you see them without flinching, their power over you begins to dissolve. Now let me tell you what happens after the first sighting. For the next 3 days, you will experience what the texts call the archonic retaliation. This is not metaphor. This is documented pattern reported by every practitioner who has successfully completed this technique. The retaliation comes in 3 forms. First, intrusive thoughts, dark, disturbing, thoughts that seem to come from nowhere, thoughts of self-harm, thoughts of harming others, thoughts so alien to your nature that you wonder if you are losing your mind. You are not. These thoughts are the Archon thrashing, attempting to reassert control through fear and confusion. Recognize them for what they are. They are not yours. Simply observe them and let them pass. Second, social disruption. Within 24 hours of seeing your Archon, someone close to you will suddenly become hostile, critical, or distant. A friend will pick a fight over nothing. A family member will dredge up old grievances. A partner will question your sanity. This is not coincidence. The Archons work through people, especially through people whose own archonic attachments are strong. They will use anyone available to make you doubt what you saw, to convince you it was imagination, to pull you back into comfortable blindness. Stand firm. Say nothing about what you saw. Remember the second warning from the ancient text. Never speak about what you see until you have seen it 3 times. Third, physical exhaustion. You will feel drained, depleted, as if you have not slept in days, even if you slept well. This is because seeing the Archon forces it to work harder to maintain its attachment. It will feed more aggressively, trying to replenish the energy it expends, staying connected to you. This phase passes. By the 4th day, your energy will return stronger than before because something fundamental has shifted. You are no longer an unconscious host. You are an aware observer. And that awareness changes everything. Here is what the texts do not tell you, but every practitioner discovers. Seeing the Archon once is not enough. You must see it 3 times, as the warning states. The first sighting breaks the veil. The second sighting confirms the reality. The third sighting severs the feeding tube. Yes, you read that correctly. The Archons attach to humans through energetic connections that function like feeding tubes. The Gnostics described these as cords running from the archonic entity to specific points on the human energy body, usually the solar plexus, sometimes the base of the skull, occasionally the heart center. These cords are invisible to normal perception, but once you have seen your Archon 3 times using the mirror technique, the cords become visible too. And once you can see them, you can cut them. If you are ready to receive the cutting technique, comment, "I sever the cord right now." This is your declaration that you will not stop at observation, that you are committed to full liberation. The cord cutting will be covered in the next video, but your comment now signals your intent, and that intent matters more than you realize. Let me tell you what to expect after the 3rd sighting. First, your dreams will change. You will stop having anxiety dreams. Stop having dreams where you are chased or trapped or powerless. The Archons influence your dream state heavily because that is where your subconscious is most accessible. Once they lose primary access, your dreams become yours again, clear, purposeful, sometimes prophetic. Second, your energy will stabilize. The mood swings, the sudden drops into depression or anxiety for no apparent reason, these will decrease dramatically. You will recognize that most of what you called your emotional life was actually archonic feeding patterns. Your real emotions, the ones connected to your divine spark, are far more stable and far more powerful. Third, your discernment will sharpen. You will immediately recognize archonic influence in others. You will hear it in their words, see it in their eyes, feel it in their presence. This is not judgment. This is perception. Some people are heavily infested. Some people are so controlled that almost nothing of their original essence remains visible. You will know who is safe and who is dangerous. You will know who is awake and who is asleep, and you will stop wasting energy trying to wake those who have chosen to remain in the dream. Fourth, synchronicities will intensify. The monad communicates with freed pneumatics directly. Without archonic interference clouding the signal, you will receive guidance constantly. The right book will fall off the shelf. The right person will send a message at the perfect moment. You will think of something and it will appear before you within hours. This is not magic. This is the natural state of a divine spark operating without parasitic static. But I must give you the 3rd warning now. Once you learn to see them, they will know that you can see them. The Archons operate on a hive structure. They are not individuals the way you are an individual. They are nodes in a larger network, a collective intelligence that the Gnostics called the demiurge. When one Archon realizes it has been seen, the information propagates through the network. Other Archons will take notice of you. For a period of time, usually between 2 and 6 weeks, you will experience increased archonic attention, not attack. Attention. They will test you. They will send humans under heavy influence across your path to gauge your awareness. They will create situations designed to pull you back into fear, back into distraction, back into the frequencies they control. This is the gauntlet every freed pneumatic must walk. You pass through it not by fighting, but by maintaining your connection to the monad frequency. By remembering what you are, by refusing to feed the archonic system your energy regardless of what pressures appear. But there is an aspect of the archonic attention that is more insidious than direct testing. It is the subtle infection of your highest intentions. The Archons are masters of spiritual parasitism. They cannot create light, but they can perfectly mimic it, twisting genuine spiritual drives into ego-serving traps. When you realize you are a pneumatic, a spark of the monad, there is a natural, powerful impulse to share this truth, to save others, to become a guide. This is where the Archons lay their most elegant snare. They will feed the egoic part of this impulse, amplifying the sense of specialness and separating you from those you wish to help. You will find yourself drawn to complex self-aggrandizing doctrines, using esoteric terminology not to clarify but to create distance. The temptation to believe you are part of a select, superior group will become almost overwhelming. This is the Archon's attempt to turn your awareness into a new form of blindness, the blindness of spiritual pride. They know that a pneumatic isolated by ego is just as controllable as a hyletic soul drowning in material concerns. Your power is not in your knowledge of secrets, it is in your radical authenticity and grounded presence. The moment you begin to see yourself as a messiah or a guru, you create a perfect entry point for archonic distortion. The true path is one of silent service, of maintaining your high frequency and allowing that frequency to be the only teaching you offer. Do not preach, do not argue. Simply exist as a living example of liberation. This silent resonance is what genuinely shifts the field around you, not a zealous attempt to convert the unwilling. The ancient texts give a name to this specific archonic temptation, the phthonous trap. Phthonous is the Greek term for envy or grudging resentment, but in the Gnostic context it describes the mechanism by which the Archons infect higher consciousness. They don't try to make you bad. They try to make you superior. They redirect your divine spark's desire for unity into a personal hunger for recognition and power over others. Watch for this subtle shift. When you catch yourself judging others as sheep or feeling irritation at their lack of insight, you are being fed the phthonous energy. The correction is immediate. Refocus on your own divine spark. Remember the monad's perfect non-judgment and instantly dissolve the feeling of separation. This period of heightened attention is therefore your greatest initiation. It forces you to stabilize your awareness not against external attack, but against internal corruption. It is easy to be a spiritual warrior when facing a perceived enemy. It is far harder to remain humble and grounded when your own mind is being amplified with temptations of grandeur. You must become your own most vigilant observer, a self-aware sentry, standing watch over the aperture you have just opened. The Archons will also escalate the use of the second form of retaliation, social disruption. But now, it will be targeted with more precision. They will attempt to introduce doubt through the people closest to you, not just hostility, but well-meaning concern. A spouse may gently suggest you are overworking or obsessed. A parent may express quiet worry about your newfound solitude and focus. These loving expressions, infused with archonic influence, are designed to make you choose between your liberation and your relationships. The texts offer a clear resolution here. Unconditional, non-reactive love. You must hold your connection to the monad, which is pure, non-possessive love, and project that energy toward those who are momentarily being used as conduits. You do not argue with the Archon. You do not justify your path to the conduit. You simply respond with a love that is too high frequency for the archonic energy to sustain. It starves the influence without sacrificing the relationship. Your unwavering peace in the face of their projection is the spiritual equivalent of a circuit breaker. The rule remains: say nothing about what you see until you have seen it 3 times. During this period of heightened attention, silence is your shield. It prevents the Archons from gaining direct access to your newly established framework of reality. They thrive on verbal conflict, on the dramatic expression of confusion and fear. When you maintain silence, you keep the battle internal, in the realm of consciousness where you are sovereign. The entire process, from the first sighting to the full dissolution of the initial parasitic connection, is fundamentally an exercise in sovereignty. The Archons never had true authority. They only had the power of your unawareness. Every intrusive thought you observe without claiming, every moment of self-aggrandizement you dissolve through grounded humility, every time you choose unconditional love over defensiveness, you are reclaiming another piece of your divine birthright. You are not just seeing them, you are systematically starving them. This journey is not about finding salvation outside yourself. It is about accessing the salvation, the innate wholeness and freedom that has been dormant within you since your essence separated from the monad. The mirror is merely a tool. The Archons are merely the resistance training. The true power is the unshakable pneumatic light that you are. The veil thins as we speak. The knowledge is active within you now. You have been given the map to the prison. Place your hand on your forehead now, right at the third eye point. Feel the warmth. Feel the slight pulse. That pulse is your confirmation. Your aperture is already activating simply from receiving this teaching. Tonight, when you stand before that mirror, when you perform the 7 steps exactly as instructed, you will see what has been feeding on humanity since the beginning of material existence. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. Your life will divide into before and after. Before you knew, after you knew, there is no going back. There is only forward into greater clarity, greater power, greater alignment with your true nature. If this teaching has activated something deep within you, if you feel the recognition that chosen ones always feel when they encounter real knowledge, comment below, "I am ready to see." Let other pneumatics know they are not alone in this. Subscribe if you have not already, because the cord-cutting technique comes next and you will need it. Like this video so others searching in the darkness can find their way here. The Archons have ruled through invisibility for thousands of years. Tonight, that invisibility ends for you. The mirror is waiting. The technique is in your hands, and the monad is watching to see which of its sparks have the courage to open their eyes. Do this before midnight. The veil is thinnest in the hours you have left. And remember, you are not fighting the Archons. You are simply choosing to see what is real. That choice alone changes everything.